Seminole Heights murders.
Seminole Heights killer.
Seminole Heights murders.
Proceeded this time.
Donaldson is accused.
Seminole Heights killer.
Seminole Heights murders.
Seminole Heights killings.
Seminole murders.
Seminole Heights killer.
Seminole Heights killer. The accused Seminole Heights killer.
Seminole Heights serial murder case.
There's a serial killer.
On October 9th of 2017, a 22-year-old man named Benjamin Edward Mitchell left his home to go see his girlfriend. He was then shot in broad daylight at 12 p.m. while waiting at a bus stop on North 15th Street in East Fearson Avenue.
22-year-old Benjamin Mitchell just laid him to rest today. A small memorial has formed here at the bus stop where he was killed.
Just 4 days later, on the morning of October 13th of 2017, city landscape crew was about to mow an overgrown field in the 1000 block of East New Orleans Ave when they stumbled upon a woman's body. The victim, later identified as Monica Hoffa, a 32-year-old white female, was shot dead while walking to a friend's house. The shooting is believed to have happened on the night of October 11th or 12th.
Now, Tampa police continue to ask the community for help in solving two murders in Southeast Seminole Heights. The reason police believe they are connected. Tonight, officials still working on narrowing down a motive.
At about 7:57 p.m. on October the 19th of 2017, a 20-year-old Hispanic man named Anthony Nioba was shot dead on 15th Street near Wilder Avenue. Nioba ended up in the area after taking the wrong bus home from work and getting lost. He was presumed to be walking towards a Route 9 bus stop when he was shot in the head and killed on the sidewalk. The official court records state that on the evening of October 19th of 2017, Anthony Nioba was shot and killed by a single fired round to his head. Nioba was northbound, walking along the east side of the 5100 block of North 15th Street when he was killed in the driveway of 5111 North 15th Street, which just so happens to be the residence of the first victim, Mr. Benjamin Mitchell.
ABC Action News.
If you're walking alone, you're either a suspect or you're a potential victim.
Right now at 5, a killer on the loose. 3 people randomly murdered in cold blood. New tonight, police looking for this man who may hold the answers to a string of senseless crimes. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Jamison Euler.
And I'm Ashley Glass in for Wendy Ryan. Extra officers were already out patrolling Southeast Seminole Heights last night following 2 murders when they heard gunshots and found a 3rd victim.
A closer look at the victims right now. The first victim, Benjamin Mitchell, was shot at a bus stop on Monday, October 9th at North 15th Street and East Frierson Avenue. 2 days later, Monica Hoffa was killed a half a mile away. Her body was found in a vacant lot on East New Orleans Avenue. And just last night, Anthony Nioba was shot and killed near North 15th Street and Conover Street, just 1 block away from the first murder. Here's what we know so far. Tampa's interim police chief says all 3 homicides were carried out by one suspect. This is the best clue police have to go on. Surveillance video from last Monday near where the first victim, Benjamin Mitchell, died.
Carson, you're at the bus stop where Anthony was murdered. You actually spoke to his parents.
Right, and Anthony's parents were gracious enough to share this photo of their son with me. Just across the street is where he was slain. This is his family, his siblings, his younger brothers and sisters putting out candles, teddy bears, and flowers for their brother. Grief is love with no place to go.
For my son, I did.
Love for a son who never came home last night and never will.
My son, he just came out of work last night. Seemed like he took the wrong bus.
He was like, "Don't worry, I'll be home quick." And I said, "Okay." And he's like, "I promise." All right. Didn't hear from him after that.
Anthony Nioba's parents say their son is the 3rd homicide victim to be shot in Seminole Heights in 10 days. Anthony had autism and was walking to catch the right bus, but never made it.
We knew already we lost our son. We lost our son forever. Beautiful, beautiful life.
Tampa police perplexed by the homicides, which the chief says are linked. He didn't use the words serial killer, but did reveal the FBI is now involved.
And now we have someone who is terrorizing the neighborhood.
All three victims were walking alone in the same Seminole Heights area. Benjamin Mitchell slain at the bus stop across from his house. Monica Hoffa's body found by city workers in the weeds of a vacant lot.
She was completely innocent and was targeted by this animal out there.
Police want you to look at surveillance video of this person so they can clear them as a suspect. A suspect these parents say has caused them unbearable grief.
This guy got no heart.
Please speak up because you don't know if it's going to happen to you.
Okay, that is the plea from Anthony's parents tonight. Here at the site where he was killed, they have lit some candles. They are here with his younger siblings. Tonight, there is a $19,000 reward for information leading to a suspect. The police chief telling folks, do not walk alone in Seminole Heights. We're live in Tampa. I'm Carson Chambers, ABC Action News.
It's such a sad story. My deepest condolences goes out to the family. I just couldn't imagine having to go through this. I mean, the poor guy was just literally in the wrong place at the wrong time. At about 4:50 a.m. on November 14th of 2017, a 60-year-old black man was crossing the street, which was North Nebraska Avenue, just north of East Caracas Street, when the suspect came right up behind him and fatally shot him. The victim, identified as Ronald Felton, was walking to the New Seasons Apostolic Ministries to meet the pastor to get ready to help distribute food to families in need, which is something he has always done for over a decade. 60-year-old Ronald Felton was a food bank volunteer at New Seasons Apostolic Ministries located at the 5100 North Nebraska Avenue location. Dozens of people from the Tampa Bay area came together to mourn the deaths of Benjamin Mitchell, Monica Hoffa, Anthony Nioba, and Ronald Felton on separate occasions as well. Then, only 14 days later, the unthinkable happened. On November 28th, the Tampa Police Department arrested a suspect, Howell Emmanuel Donaldson III, at a McDonald's fast food restaurant in Ybor City. Donaldson, who worked at the restaurant, told Delonda Walker, who is his manager, that he was going to an Amscott location to secure a cash advance and would leave town after, then handed her a gun wrapped in a paper salad bag. Walker quickly notified a police officer who was coincidentally in the restaurant's parking lot. The officer called for backup, and police were waiting to arrest Donaldson by the time he returned. Donaldson consented to a search of his vehicle, where Tampa police found clothes stained with what appeared to be blood and fitting the description derived from the security footage and eyewitness accounts. They also discovered that his cell phone location data aligned with the date, time, and GPS location of that provided in the security footage. Tampa police claim that ballistics tests show that Donaldson's Glock was used to commit all 4 killings and that shell casings matching the weapon were found at the scenes of the crimes. His trial was scheduled to begin on August 10, 2020, and if found guilty, Donaldson could face the death penalty. I also wanted to include a clip of one of his co-workers and what she had to say about him. Found it pretty interesting, and pretty sure you will too once you see it yourself.
You look like a killer. And he said, do I really? I said, yeah. You know, and I was just saying that because I've been saying stuff, I don't know why, I just been digging at him, but he ain't do nothing to me. But he gave me that look, like, don't mess with me.
And that employee tells us she's thankful there was an officer inside the McDonald's and that they're all okay. Coming up in the next half.
All right, I just wanted to talk about the reward money really quick. So basically what initially started out as just a $5,000 Crime Stopper reward eventually ballooned to a $110,000 reward. Now, it's a bunch of different donations from different entities. The biggest one would be $50,000 from the FBI. There's a $20,000 one, $10,000, $5,000 from Crime Stoppers. 15 to 10, and then there's a $9,000 one from a local restaurant owner named Mr. Richard Gansmart, who owns the upscale Columbia restaurant in Ybor City. Now, Mr. Gansmart seems like a really nice guy who's just genuinely happy to be able to help contribute to get this guy off the streets, but I can't really say the same about the Crime Stoppers organization. Take a look and see.
We take this monster off the street. She's a hero in my eyes.
One Tampa man writing a $9,000 check to the woman who helped police catch an accused killer. All new tonight, we're digging deeper into how much of that reward money the woman he calls a hero may finally get. I'm Wendy Ryan.
I'm Paul LeGrone. Tonight, the journey to justice is just now underway. In 9 hours, Hal Trey Donaldson will be appearing before a judge at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then at 10 a.m., the state attorney will be speaking publicly about prosecuting this case.
Meantime, the McDonald's manager who found that gun now expected to get a big payout. She already got a check, $9 grand. But what about the rest of it? ABC Action News reporter Michael Paluska learning the reward comes with a lot of strings attached. Michael?
Wendy, Paul, we know that brave general manager that was just coming into work yesterday is going to get a little bit of money, not all of it, but there's still a lot left on the table, and that's partly because of some private citizens stepping up.
No strings attached is what I told. I didn't expect anything in return.
Richard Gansmart didn't hesitate to make good on the $9 grand reward he offered.
We're proud that we did it. So isn't that worth, I mean, I can go to sleep knowing I'm doing my best to help make the city safe.
That cash came from this moment and a tip from a scared general manager motivated to catch a suspected killer, not to cash in on a reward.
She's the perfect example of a good citizen.
Former TPD chief Jane Castor says Delonda Walker is a hero.
She deserves every penny of reward.
Police say it was Walker's instinct about Hal Donaldson III's attitude and how he was acting cracked the case.
That was really the piece that brought it all together.
Crime Stoppers says since Walker didn't call their tip line to report the gun, she isn't eligible for their $5,000 reward. Walker will also have to wait to collect the $80,000 reward from the FDLE, FBI, and ATF.
If it's a government entity, it's usually contingent on conviction.
Some citizens have taken to social media to question Crime Stoppers, but Castor says in that moment, Crime Stoppers wasn't the right agency to call.
That program's built for, the day-to-day reward.
But if everything works out in Walker's favor, she could still get an additional $96,000 in reward money. We're live here in Ybor City tonight. Michael Paluska, ABC Action.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Some people call me Tip, but this is about another kind of Tip.
Man, Crime Stopper knows they're petty for trying a lady like that. Like, come on, man. Like, there's no possible way the police would have ever caught that man if it wasn't for him giving her that gun. And if she was to decide to cover for him and not turn it in, there's no way y'all would have connected anything to that one little surveillance camera footage that y'all had. So making all that fuss over that little bitty $5,000 was a bit much, especially when it's 4 people who lost their lives.
Tonight is the beginning of when justice will be served. And then the process will occur when this individual rots in hell. TPD did their job. The troopers did their job. FDLE did their job. The FBI did their job. Seminole Heights did their job. And tonight, we're bringing someone to justice who doesn't deserve the right to walk amongst us. These folks deserve the credit.
What set this into motion? Like, what started this? I just want to speak to my family. I don't know. But why? I just don't know anything else to say. I just want to, talk to my attorney.
Donaldson never admitted guilt or gave an explanation. State Attorney Andrew Warren is seeking the ultimate punishment.
We made our decision to seek the death penalty in this case.
Nah, I know what y'all thinking. I know y'all like, why is this video not over yet? Like, what is there even more to talk about? Like, they didn't found him. He's in jail. Like, what's going on? But I couldn't live with myself if I did not bring this to your attention. Just when you thought it just couldn't get no crazier, then this went and happened. Check it out.
Sign language interpreter who announced the arrest of a serial killer was a phony.
Yeah, Dearling Roberts showed up at the news conference last week, but people in the deaf community could tell right away she wasn't making any sense. One of the murder victim's mothers is deaf and was at that news conference relying on an interpreter. Sign language experts say it was easy to spot the con artist.
Some of them were invented signs, and I wasn't able to understand what she was saying. Most of the time, it just looked like she was singing, but not using actual signs.
Tampa police say that they use a prepaid contractor for their interpreters and assumed she was the one sent over. Roberts has a history of arrests for fraud. Police say that what she did is not technically a crime, but is not obviously ethical.
Dearly. Boy, you must just really wanted that attention, didn't you? Now, his court was supposed to start in 2020, but as we all know, COVID pretty much put a hold on everything. He is still yet to go to trial, go to court, or to be sentenced. During the waiting period, so to speak, something else occurred in regards to his case.
In a case that gripped the Tampa Bay area 3 years ago, today a judge allowed the accused Seminole Heights serial killer to get 4 separate murder trials.
ABC Action News reporter Mary O'Connell breaks down what that means as the cases move through the court and what it means for the victims' families who just want closure.
The string of deaths in 2017 shook Seminole Heights and Tampa Bay for weeks. His attorneys argued in court the 4 victims had no connection, killed in different locations, on different dates, at different times.
I don't understand why you would prolong the misery of 4 families.
It appears to be random killings. So as a result of which, it prejudices the defendant to have them all tried together, because the jury would then say, well, gee, if he's guilty of this one with the gun, then he's guilty of all the others with the gun.
ABC Action News legal analyst Jeffrey Swartz doesn't think the state will appeal, but instead put their best case first.
If they get the death penalty, which is what they're seeking, then the chances are they will try to work out a plea on the remaining 3 rather than put everybody through another trial.
The state attorney's office says despite the ruling, they'll continue to fight for the victims, all while their families wait for closure a little while longer.